Once there was a poor miller who had a very beautiful daughter. One day he went to the king's court to pay his taxes, and when he didn't have enough money, he said that his daughter could spin straw into gold. The king ordered the miller's daughter to come to the palace and said to her once they got in a room full of straw, "You must spin all the straw into gold tonight or you shall die." She was locked all alone in the room, and she began to cry because she didn't know what to do. All of a sudden a dwarf came out of nowhere and asked her, "Why are you crying?" She told him the story, and he said, "Don't worry, I will spin straw into gold, but you will have to give me something in return. I will give you my necklace." The next day, when the king came back to the room, he was pleased to his sight as to see that the whole room was covered in gold. He became greedier and took the girl to a bigger room and said to her, "Spin all the straw into gold tonight, or you shall die." She was locked inside the room again, and she began to cry, until the tiny man came into the room once more. "If I spin all the straw into gold, what will you give me this time?" She gave him her gold ring, and she said through the night as he spun all the straw into gold. The third morning, when the king came back, he was pleased to see the room full of gold. He took the girl to the biggest room and filled it with straw. He said to her, "If you spin all the straw into the gold, you shall become my wife." The girl was locked up in the room. Once again she began to cry. This time when the little man came back to her, she said, "I don't have anything to give you, sir. What will I do?" He said back to her after thinking a while, "Promise me that you'll give me my firstborn child when you become the queen." The girl agreed because she was not expecting to become king's wife. The tiny man spun all the straw into gold in the night, and the next day, when the king saw this, he was pleased to see the gold. He married the girl, and soon they had a baby. A year has passed, and the queen has completely forgotten about the promise, but the tiny man came back to the kingdom. Once he tried to take her baby away. She cried and begged for him to leave the baby alone. The tiny man said, "I will not take your baby if you can guess my name. I will give you 3 days." Saying this, he disappeared. The queen tried to remember all kinds of the names she could think of. The first night, the queen said as many names as she could think of. Usual and unusual. She could just not guess the one. She gone through 1,000 of names, but at the end, just before the sunrise, the tiny man said, "None of those are my name." The second day, Queen ordered the soldiers to go around the kingdom, finding the name of every person. She also said to them that if any of them know any unusual names, they give her their list. She then sat back down at her table and thought of many names as possible. The queen again guessed and guessed when the little dwarf came back. She guessed every name she had in her mind, but she couldn't guess the right one. She knew she had to do something about it before this creature took her child. When the little dwarf was about to leave, when the sunrise came up, he again said, "None of these names are mine. Tomorrow the baby will be." She followed the dwarf behind the hill into the dark forest where the sun has not yet risen. She stood behind a tree, listening to his song. "My name is Rampulstilskin, nobody can guess it, the baby will be mine." He sang over and over again to the fire that danced with him. The third night the queen asked the dwarf, "Maybe your name is Henry, maybe Steve, but I think it's Rampustilskin." The dwarf was surprised to her answer and ran away and never was seen again after that day.